Hi guys, welcome back to this week's Friday Facts. This week I'm going to be talking about where to get your pet rats, where you can find them, and what to look for when you're picking out your pet rats. There are three places you can get your pet rats. You can get them from your local pet store, which is what a lot of people do, or you can get them from a local rat breeder, or you can get them from a local rat rescue. In my opinion, I think it's best if you can find them to get your pets from like a local rescue or a local rat breeder because you're more likely to have a healthy pet. Sometimes getting from a pet store is just questionable. You don't know where they've come from. You don't know what kind of health they've had throughout their early life. You don't know what kind of how long they stayed with their mom to nurse from. You don't know how they've been handled or cared for while they've been at the pet store. You don't know how many people might have handled them or mistreated them. So I really would recommend, if you can find it, to find a breeder or a rescue in your area. There's lots of places on the web where you can find like a listing of local breeders and rescues in your area, and I think that's definitely the way to go. You can also try Pet Finder. I know my local rescue puts rats up there, so I assume maybe some other ones do too. Um, Unfortunately, I know for a lot of people you're not going to be able to find a rescue or a breeder in your area, so you're probably going to have to resort to buying from a pet store. And I can honestly tell you, all of my rats have come from a pet store, one of many in my area, and I've had mixed results. Some have had decent health, decent healthy lifespans, few medical problems. Others I've had die fairly young. I had one girl die less than a year old. I've had several with tumors. I've had several that have had chronic respiratory problems throughout their lives. So it's pretty much Russian roulette when you get your pet from like your actual local pet store. You really don't know what you're gonna get. That's the nice thing about a breeder, a good breeder. I'm not talking about the kinds that you generally find on like Craigslist. Those usually aren't very reputable breeders. You want to find a breeder that can give you genetic history of the rats several generations back. You want them to be breeding for temperament and health, as opposed to like, look at these pretty colors of rats that I've come up with. You definitely don't look for a breeder that breeds for looks. You want them to be breeding for health and for temperament, not pretty colors. So just try and find a breeder, or if you can, or a rescue. A rescue is also good because there's lots of people that buy rats and then a week later they're like, I don't want them anymore. So there's lots of rats out there that are looking for a good home. I actually have been in touch with a breeder or a rescue in my area, and I think that's where I'm going to get all my rats from now in the future, because I just feel better about getting them from somewhere like that as opposed to a pet store. Because you buy it from a pet store, most pet stores are breeding for snake food, and they don't really care that much about their rats. Not all pet stores, but a lot. So if you go in there and you buy a couple rats for pets, then you're just feeding, into the system, because they're just going to breed more unhealthy rats to feed more snakes. Which, yes, I understand snakes need to eat, but at the same time, I feel like you're perpetuating a business of places that don't necessarily take the best care of their rats. They're places that, they'll just throw rats in together. It doesn't matter whether they're boys or girls. It doesn't matter whether they're healthy. They just throw them in a big bin or something and sell them to the first buyer that comes in. And now, again, not all pet stores are like this. I'm going to tell you a couple things that if you are going to get from a pet store, what to look out for. One of the absolute biggest things I can tell you is make sure that the males and the females are separated. On the forum that I'm a part of, you wouldn't believe how many people come on and say, I just bought a pet rat, a girl, and she's pregnant. And then all of a sudden you go from having 2 or 3 rats to having 20. Because you bought a rat that's pregnant because the pet stores just threw them all together and everybody got pregnant. So that's definitely one thing you want to keep in mind and look for, is do not buy from a store that has males and females together, because you're likely going to end up with a pregnant rat and have many more rats than you planned. So that's big number one. Definitely, if you're going to get it from a pet store, make sure they separate the sexes, the genders. Um, the other thing, I did a couple videos back, I did a video on like doing a Rattie Health check. You definitely take a look at that video. Some of the stuff in there will be really useful when you are picking out a rat, because you want to make sure that they look healthy to you. You don't want to just say, oh, that one's cute, I'm going to pick that one and take it home. You want to make sure that they look healthy, that their eyes are bright, clear, their nose is clear of any kind of discharge, that their private areas, their penis, vagina, and anus are all very clear, that they have no visible scratches or wounds or anything on their body. They should look healthy and happy and energetic. Back to the health check, you want to make sure that their ears are clean, their nose, their eyes, their tails, their feet, everything looks healthy. Again, no visible damage done to them whatsoever. And you also want to listen to their lungs and make sure that their lungs sound clear, that there's no signs of any kind of respiratory problems. Basically, you just want to be able to make sure that they look happy and healthy, and not in any kind of danger, not in any unhealthy environments. Make sure their environment's nice and clean. Like I said, every pet store is going to be different. Every place is going to be different. You just want to make sure you're looking for the good one. The next thing, I think there's some fighting going on here. Ignore the grumpies back there fighting. So if you're getting from a pet store, once you decide, okay, these guys are happy and they're healthy and they look okay, you want to make sure that their temperament is good. Some rats are going to bite. I've went into pet stores, picked up a rat, and been bitten before. And you kind of have to weigh this. Obviously they're in a really terrifying environment for them. That would be like a whole bunch of us being thrown in a room and having people come and mess with us every day. Obviously they're going to be freaked out. You're kind of, again, playing Russian roulette in this regard too, because I've had some rats that were really bitey when I first got them. Not, they didn't bite hard or anything, but they were more like warning bites. But once they got comfortable with me, they were fine. So it's really hard to tell. It's hard to tell a rat's personality until you get them home and they're more comfortable with you. I've only had one instance where I had a rat from a pet store that I had a lot of problems with, and he would bite me, he would bite other rats, and at that point in my life, I didn't have a lot of money to have him neutered, because it's common in male rats for them to have some aggression in some instances, and that can easily be fixed with a neuter, but at the same time, I really didn't have the money at that point. So I did give him up to rescue, and once he was neutered, he was the most happy little rat ever. But other than, extenuating circumstances like that, I've never had a rat, once I've gotten it home, that it's been aggressive to me. Again, I spend a lot of time with my rats. I make sure that they trust me. I earn their trust. And I make sure that, they're never mistreated in my home. And I've never ever had a rat bite. So, other than the aggression issue that I talked about. Once you figure out that they're happy and they're healthy and, they seem to have a pretty good temperament, then you want to pick out for color or look. And obviously, gender. If you want boys, obviously, make sure you pick a boy. If you want a girl, make sure you pick a girl. But color should be the last thing that you're looking out for when you're picking out your pets, because, their temperament's going to have nothing to do with their color. You could have a plain white rat and be the most loving, affectionate rat in the world, or you could have the most unique colored rat in the world, and it could be, totally grumpy and not want to be around people ever. So color should be the last thing you look for. Yes, it's cool when you have a rat that maybe, is a little bit more unique looking than the others, but you shouldn't make your decision based on that. I think we've all done it. We've all walked into a pet store and been like, oh my god, look at that cute one over there, but that shouldn't be your basis for picking out your rat. And especially if you're going to be adopting from like a breeder, you might only have certain colors to choose from, or if you're getting from a rat rescue, obviously it's the luck of the draw what they have in. So you definitely want to go by health and temperament before you go by color or marking or, type of fur or no fur for that matter. So just use your brain when you're thinking about adopting a rat. You know, also I'm gonna link in this video, maybe like somewhere around here, or if I can't figure out how to put it in the video, I'll put it down in the down bar, about whether you even think a rat is a good pet for you, because you want to weigh all that before you go to pick out your pet, and make sure that you're making the right decision for both you and your pet. Because I don't want you to go out and run out and find these cute rats, bring them home, and then realize all of the things that you have to do to take care of a rat, and then realize you're going to be overwhelmed. So I'll link that video here now so you can go take a look at that. But yeah, once you decide, you know, this is a good decision, always make sure the rat looks healthy. Always make sure you're getting it from a safe source. If it's from a pet store, make sure they're clean, you know, pet store. Make sure they separate the boys and the girls. Make sure the rats look healthy. You know, most of it's pretty much common sense. But if you do have any other questions about this, you can leave it in the comment section and I'll definitely get back to you. Or if you don't want to put it out there for everyone, you can send me a personal message and I'll answer any questions as much as I can. You could also join some of the rat forums out there. I'll link the one that I belong to below as well. You could also get in touch with me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. So any of those, if you want to follow me there, is great. I hope this video was enough information, and I hope that I was able to get it recorded okay. I hate recording at night. I usually record during the day, but everything's been crazy here the last week. So hopefully this video turns out alright. So yeah, I think that about covers it for this week. So hope you guys like my video. It's important. Please click the little thumbs up for me, please. So yeah, I think that about covers it, and I will be back with another video. I will be back with another video for you guys on Tuesday. Sorry, I've worked all day and I'm really tired, so my brain is gone. Anyway, thanks guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.